the same. You're going to see 3 down linemen. You're going to see 4 linebackers. You know, and 4 DBs. So, you know, we're going to look the same. I mean, we're going to do some things that are a little different to make our scheme better. You know, things that we were trying to get to during the middle of the year, and then the injuries, we had to keep starting over. And, you know, so the progression is there. You know, we're going to put our own little twist on it. You know, the things that we like and the things that we think our kids can execute. So, and we'll be playing with KJ a lot of spur. You know, as that nickel guy.
You think that's important because these kids have seen so many different schemes and things the last few years to keep it?
Yeah, we're going to keep it simple. I mean, the terminology, and if we're going to do different things, what we've asked the coaches, and Dana and I have talked about a lot, if we're going to change something, let's make sure that we're using the same terminology that our kids know it as, and make us learn it as coaches. It's a lot easier for 4 guys to learn than for 50 guys. So, you know, that's kind of where we've been. Our kids have been doing an excellent job, and right now they're excited. You know, and everybody knows that, you know, there's great tradition in West Virginia. There's, you know, great winning tradition in West Virginia. We always had tough kids that played hard, and they're embarrassed right now. And, you know, they're hungry, and I really like our kids. I like their attitude right now, and I think they're ready to work, and they've been showing that in their off-season workouts.
So they're excited. How excited are you when you're taking over the position that Dana talked so much about the depth? You know, how many players you get to work with who have quality experience?
Yeah, that was another easy fix too. Hey, you want to coach line? Heck yeah, let me go down there where all the experience is at. But you know, guys like Quitt and Barber and Tonkery and Golson, and even Shaq, you know, guys that played a lot of football, and you know, so and you look throughout the defense. We were talking about it this morning as a defensive staff. We have a lot of kids that played a lot of football last year. That, you know, took lumps when they were young, and you know they get a feel for it right now. So they're hungry, they're working, and I think once you play and you get that feel, it makes you want it even that much more. And, you know, I think that's where the attitude of our kids are right now. Is we're going to attack the day and get better at everything we do, and then let's move on to tomorrow.
Cody, you changed the will. Does anything change besides the name? Does he do anything different?
No. You know, Brandon Golson was our buck, as you all know, and he's our will right now. And he's going to blitz. He's going to cover people, and you know, hopefully he's going to tackle a guy with the ball. So that's the good thing. But we're not going to change a whole lot that he's doing. You know, so it's just easier. That was the one thing that I told, you know, that we had talked about. It makes it easier for me, just because that's what we've always called that guy, as our will backer. So it's easier structure-wise to call the defense, you know, get guys lined up and that kind of thing.
You mentioned, kind of being older. Sorry, I think that's what you said, right? But in your other stops, Schaefer, Castillo, Robinson, guys like that, how much more do you know about the job? Not just defense, but like probably being the coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've worked for some pretty good coordinators. You know, Greg Robinson won Super Bowls. You know, he's done a great job when he was at Texas the first time. Obviously, Mac brought him back to end out this year, and he got it rolling. Scott Schaefer, now the head coach at Syracuse. Obviously, Jeff. And the good thing about it, you know, when we first learned the odd defense, you know, it was odd stack back then, you know, the 3-3-5 stuff. You know, I was here when it got built. I mean, Jeff and I were the only 2 guys that were here the whole time, you know, and just kept building to the defense. And, you know, so I learned the odd stuff from then, you know, and what's different with what we do. Okay, we play, you know, those guys would stack backers in the box when we were 2 backers in the box with 2 outside backers. I mean, we're the same thing right now. So a lot of that stuff that we did, that is the verbiage that our kids know that we've tried to keep in the system. And so scheme-wise, that part of it, but also the game planning part of it, I've always been a big part of that. Those guys, you know, always asked a lot of my input. Obviously, when I was at Pitt with Keith, you know, I was a co-coordinator, passing game coordinator, did a lot of game planning stuff with that. So, you know, and those guys have trusted me on game day too to make calls and do some things. You know, did I call whole games? No. You know, I'd help them out, assist them with it, and throw ideas at them in between series. And, you know, we've been able to do some things, but and I know it's different when it's all squarely, you know, falls on you. You have to make every call, but that's like, again, you need great assistant coaches, which I think we have to be able to help adjust and do some.
Getting sacks or pressures never been as good as I guess we think about it. You call stuff differently, more aggressively, or just have to get guys better?
Yeah, I think that's you know, in this league, everybody knows quarterbacks don't hold the ball for a long time, so the sack numbers in this league aren't real good throughout. You know, but we're going to try to create as much pressure as we can. Now, how do you do that? Rushing three is not going to get it all the time, but there's a time too where you can rush three and make the quarterback hold the ball. You know, and that creates some things for you. We're going to bring 4 guys. We're going to bring 5 guys. We're going to bring 6. You know, it's all about the mix, confusing the quarterback, showing them different looks, and moving the dots on guys. You know, we can't just sit still and play the same front coverage every snap. It's not going to work in this league.
Tony, late arriving here, but